Back in the Old Testament book of Judges, things were pretty terrible. In fact, the writer of Judges has this favorite saying, "In those days, everyone did what was right in their own eyes." There was no behavioral standard, no moral compass, no guiding principles, just whatever seemed best at the time. Frequently, the writer of Judges will say that people rose up, the word in Hebrew is kum, and did all sorts of evil. A young man rises up and slaughters 70 of his stepbrothers. That's some serious family dysfunction. A tribe in Israel caused a carved idol to rise up so that they could bow down to it. A gang of thugs rises up and tries to attack and harass someone visiting their town. Things don't look that great. But God was not absent. Even when a generation rises up that did not know Yahweh or the things He had done for them, like bringing them out of Egypt and into the Promised Land, God still caused leaders to rise in Israel. The Bible called these leaders judges, people who saved God's people from their oppressors. He caused the first judge, Othniel, to rise up, saving the people. He caused Ehud to rise up, bringing salvation through a shocking and treacherous blow to the big king named Eglon. He sent word to Barak through Deborah, "Rise up, for this is the day in which Yahweh had delivered his enemy into his hand." He sent word to Gideon, "Rise up, go down to the camp. Yahweh had ensured their victory." Often, the judges God raised up were nervous, shy, afraid, or even resistant. But God's message was clear and consistent: rise up and take hold of the salvation I set before you. Many centuries later, the prophet Isaiah writes to the same people of God, knowing that they've been kicked out of the very land God had given them. However, God's message is clear. He is going to give them hope for a future and salvation. Part of His plan was to use someone called the servant, someone who would call His people back to Himself. God says to this servant, "It is too small a thing for you to be my servant to cause the tribes of Jacob to rise up. I will make you into a light for the nations, so that my salvation might go to the ends of the earth." Once again, God is the one who causes someone to rise, and this time, it's for the sake of the whole world. That servant has a name in the New Testament, Jesus. And because of His sacrifice, God's salvation really does now extend to the ends of the earth. So today, God looks at us, and just like those hesitant, nervous people back in the book of Judges, He says, "Rise up, shine, for your light has come." Maybe we need to hear that message. After all, it can sometimes feel like we live in a world where everyone does what is right in their own eyes. But the same God who called judges and prophets is calling us, and His message is clear. Rise up, accept the salvation that I offer, and bring it to the ends of the earth. So, what is holding us back? It's time to rise.